What's good, traders? Just wanted to jump on here real quick and record a quick video for a person who reached out to me this week on Instagram with a struggle and sort of feeling they were going through in their trading. So I thought I'd make a video on it because it's most likely going to benefit more than one person. So here's what they said. I'll leave a pop-up on the screen so you can see. He said, "Hey, I have a little weird question. So today I didn't take a trade because PA was kind of awful in my opinion. I know that if you don't take a trade, it's considered a win because you followed your plan. But on the other hand, I feel like I should take a trade to make some profit so I'm closer to becoming a funded trader. It's like the demons are whispering to me that I'm not good enough. I know it's weird, but I'm getting a little bit worried about that, but don't know why. Any of your tips will help me, so thank you." So first off, I want to start by saying thank you for reaching out and thank you for being honest. You're developing a kind of self-awareness, which is literally the foundation to trading psychology, and most traders never even get there. Okay, so you're already ahead of the curve by recognizing what's beginning to happen inside of your head. Now, I want to talk about what you did was not a loss, right? We're going to call it a disciplined victory, right? Not a loss. Skipping a trade because price action was poor is literally your plan working, right? A lot of traders, they think being in a trade equals progress, but that's backwards thinking. That's not true. Protecting your capital when price action is poor is literally taking you one step closer to becoming a funded trader, right? The ability to sit on your hands when your setup isn't there, when the right one doesn't present itself, is a rare and valuable skill in trading, which most never develop. So you did that today, so own it, congrats. Now, I want to talk about the demons that you mentioned, the whispers inside your head. What I want you to know is they are an imbalanced perception, right? They're not reality. They're an imbalanced perception. So those whispers that say, I should have taken it, or I'm not making progress, or I'm not good enough, they're only accounting for one side of the spectrum, right? So think of a spectrum. On one side you have the positives, and one side you have the negatives. I have this literally on my wall behind me. It's a spectrum of emotions. At the bottom you have the negatives and positives, and at the top you have consistency, emotional equilibrium. So those voices, they're only accounting for one side, which are the negatives. So ask yourself, what's the other side? What would have likely have happened if you'd taken the trade today? What would have been the most likely outcome? Well, the answer, I'm guessing, is a loss. But if you dig deeper, it goes deeper than just a loss. Maybe you would have revenge traded, or maybe you would have entered a bigger drawdown that would have taken you even further away from your goal of becoming a funded trader. So you avoided all that. And when you account for both sides of the spectrum, the positives and the negatives, you begin to dissolve that anxiety, right? You begin to see that not taking the trade in the end was actually the higher expected value decision, right? Just by simply not acting when your plan told you not to act, right? The urge to make money is a trap. It's not a strategy. When we trade from a place of desperation or fear of missing out, or the need to feel productive, we're not trading from our edge, we're trading from our emotions. And the market, as you know, is extremely efficient at taking money from people that make emotional decisions. Every time you force a trade out of anxiety, you override your rules. You create a habit of overriding your rules. However, every time you let a bad setup pass you, you reinforce the identity of a disciplined and professional trader. So the question isn't, did I make money? The question is, did I follow my process? And if the answer is yes, then it's a green day psychologically, regardless of the P&L. And this is why I also advise a lot of the traders that work with me to keep a psychology journal or a psychology checklist that you can go through on days like this when no setup's taken. You can still evaluate how you performed. And it just kind of reinforces the habit and also keeps your brain feeling productive, right? Because our brains, they don't like feeling unproductive. Now, on the part that you mentioned that you're not feeling good enough, well, here's an exercise worth doing. So write down the belief. So in this case, I'm not good enough to become a funded trader, if that's your belief. And then genuinely list all the evidence that just completely contradicts that, right? So in this case, you have a plan, you followed it today, and you're self-correcting, you're seeking guidance. You reached out to me, and look what that got you. I'm literally making a whole YouTube video just to help you with this. You're developing awareness that most traders won't bother even to develop, right? And the belief of you're not feeling good enough, it only feels true because it's your brain in threat mode, right? It's scanning for danger constantly and ignoring everything that doesn't fit the fear narrative. Also ask yourself, where is this belief coming from, right? Because is it based on your actual track record and data, or is it simply that it's a bad trading day and a sort of emotional state that you're in? Because most of the time, these feelings of inadequacy and urge to trade, they come from impatience and comparison, right? They're not actually part of who we are. They're just our brain telling us that something needs to be done to feel safe, right? Every trader goes through this phase, right? The phase where discipline feels like it's not being rewarded, or where you feel like you're falling behind or progress isn't being made. But this phase isn't a sign that something's wrong. It's actually a sign that your psychology is being built, right? You're in the progress of developing your mindset and becoming a better trader just by becoming aware and acting on these urges and emotions when they arise. The traders who push through this phase by trusting their process are the ones who get and stay funded. The ones that don't are the ones that end up blowing accounts and then they wonder why, right? They don't put in the work at all. So you're already developing the awareness needed and now seeking guidance, which is going to help you overcome this problem, right? Think about it like this, right? You're not behind on anything. You're being forged. And once you're forged, you're going to become a fucking beast, right? So think about it like that. Your job right now isn't to make money. Your job is to build an unbreakable relationship with your process, your discipline, and then everything else, the results will just be a downstream of that relationship, right? So I hope this video was valuable, and if anyone else has any questions or whatever, drop them in the comments and I'll get to them. Thanks for watching, and I hope this was valuable.